holes where a rod can get in, which happened unfortunately. So I figured I would just get the whole plant this apart and then graft everything that was left, like this one. It's not looking healthy, but it's looking healthy enough to survive, and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, or maybe even 5 growth points. I'm not entirely sure about this one, but the rest should make it. And it's 5 extra plants I can give away or grow or do anything with, basically. Also, you want to try to keep your working area as clean as possible, so try to get rid of any dirt and other plant materials. As you can see, a lot of debris have gone into the water, and after this grafting session with just a few plants, I will clean it again and make a new batch. And now I will start labeling the clades. Let's see how many I can make from this. It's all 4 cuttings. That's 14. Let's make it 18. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36 in total I could make if I wanted to. But honestly, I think this one looks good enough to be rooted again, and this one might be too. So I will just pot these up again later, as I don't need 36 plants of those, but 5, or let's say 4, 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That's a lot more reasonable, so I will start labeling 16 clades. That should be plenty for this year and next year to grow on. As you can see, the color difference, those are very healthy, those are not. I mean, there's enough life left in this one to probably root it again and grow it, but the damage here from the red mites is so severe, I think it would rot or has a high risk of rotting. So I'll just get like 16 clades and call it today. Let's see, 4 and 4, 3, so I need 5, 4, and another 4. So that's 16. Number 11, number 11, number 11. You just keep on going. Number 11. Also, if you use a Sharpie, make sure you don't push too hard, as that might damage the epidermis, and also sometimes they are so fragile that it's hard to write on them, so I will try to write on something else. There we go. Number 11. Number 11. There we go. Number 11. Number 11. And usually also clays have a dark side and a light side, and I always try to use the dark side as the upper side, as that will be the natural upper side anyway. And also this helps having the upper side on the upper side. It just helps development of the plant when it's small, and also keeping that side closest to the light will get as much nutrient production as possible. Also, why I clean them off first before, or why I dry them off first, is to avoid any water on them, as water on there will make it nearly impossible to write on it with a Sharpie. So that's just about it. And after this one I will continue going, but I won't continue the video, so don't worry, it's almost done. As you can see, I try to keep it as much close as possible while it's in there. I also put a little bit of water in the perlite to increase the humidity, as a higher humidity will make it easier for the plants to grow together, as then the tissue that's exposed won't shrink up or shrivel up, aborting the graft. And 11, and the last one, and 11. There we go. Everything's clean now. Just a little bit more cutting, so lopping the tops off, so you have a fresh cut, as a fresh cut will heal together the best. You don't want a cut that's been sitting out for like half an hour, as that will have dried so much that it doesn't really want to grow together again. As you can see here, it looks a bit dry already, and that's because the top layer of cells has dried out and consequently probably died or will die soon. Let's do a few. I've done 6 now. Let's do 8, so half of them. That should give me still nicely fresh cuts to work with. That's the first tiny bit I will put on there. Try to center it as much as possible above the vascular bundle with so try to line it up as much as possible, and then we start putting them in there. This is the first. I just lay them on there, as there's no need to put them upright, and actually I would recommend against putting them upright, as that puts the bottom end in the medium, which means the bottom end might rot actually, and defeats the purpose of this whole exercise. Let's see, yeah, that's on there nicely. A tiny little area on the, you can see it because of the color difference, right slap bang in the middle to make it easier. I put them quite close together, as I need all the space I have, because I want to do a lot of grafts today. And the bigger you make a graft, the easier it will be to handle, but also it might slow it down a bit, as there's a larger surface area that needs to recover. But also that's a larger area of connection, so in the long run it shouldn't be an issue. I'm quite used to cutting those up. I've done very small grafts, a lot smaller than I'm doing now, so this is peanuts for me. Also try to match up the curves on the stock and the cyan as much as possible, as that avoids bad connections in the future. And also with aerial grafts, it's good to cut a little bit higher on the clade, so there's much more on the bottom and very little on the top. Like if you do this, the vascular bundle will have branched out, and the chance of matching the vascular bundles of this tiny aerial, and this bottom is just bigger as the area of the vascular bundle on the top here is just bigger. That's 4 from just a single clade. Let's see. Going in for 5 now. Alright, and what I forgot to mention was I personally prefer to make as straight a cut as possible with a vascular bundle, as a straight vascular bundle will make it easier to align a single aerial on the grafting stock. Let's see. So this one is almost straight from the top to the bottom. And then you can see it just continues in the vascular bundle below. Alright, that's 5 done. And a bazillion to go. And once they're all in there, I will give them a few days to grow together. And after that I will spray them again with the insecticide to get rid of the last few red mites, as I don't want any to survive beyond the grafting stage, as I would say that's a failure and will give problems down the line. 3, and I only have 2 aerials left on here. Let's see. Also make sure to be very careful with a razor blade, as you can cut yourself, as I just did. It's just skin, so it's no big deal. Because I've worked with those things for a long time, as some of you in the group may know. I've been grafting Schlumbergera for the better part of well, for almost half a decade. It's getting a bit more difficult to cut now, so be very careful with your hands, as you got only 2 and they are very useful, so be careful. Let's see. This one's not very thick, so I will not put an end aerial on there. That's for a thicker clade like this one. But this one has dried out a bit, and I will cut it again a tiny little bit below it. Cut the, let's see, top aerial, the end of the clade, stick it on there. Moved around a bit to remove any air bubbles, and that's it. That's solid in place now. No glue or anything or pressure needed, and this will also create a very nice bond in the future between the stock and scion, as you have just a nice big surface area where they can grow together. Let's see, that's good enough. Well, you don't need to slice off much of just enough to get a nice flat working surface to put the scion on, but it's important to get it really flat so the stock and scion fits together nicely, as any air bubbles in between might skew the results or just hinder progress. That's not straight enough. do it again. That's better. Now the last stock done, and time to move on to the science again. As you can see, I cut up quite a bit of the interior of the clay as I don't need it, and it's usually too thick to easily fit onto the cyan, so I mean to the stock, so that's another reason why you would, why at least I would prefer bigger or thicker stocks, as that just makes for a easier working area. And actually you can make those grafts bigger if your dexterity doesn't allow to do all those very tiny movements. As you can see, this one is not really straight, so I think I'll cut it again, as after planting it, it's just easier to have it straight, because then it won't fall over all the time. And there's one more aerial left on here, I think. Not worth it. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll try it anyway. Well, there it is. The aerial is on the, for you, on the right side here, so that's why it's a bit off center, the main portion of the plate. 4 more and I'm done with the first one. As you can see, it's quite a long process to do it properly, but if you do it properly, the chance of success is quite high, and also you will end up with a lot of new plant material from just 1 or 2 clays you have laying around. Now I put the curvature between the stock and cyan the other way around, and now I put it right, and it's fitting a lot more nicely, but as you can see, the end of the clay got a bit fucked up, so it needs to be fixed. And there we go, it's done. Here's a little aerial, stick it on there and be done with it. And now there's 2 good ones left, up here and down here. So what I'll do is I'll cut it here. This might be a little bit too close, but this one is just about perfect, because now I can do this and I have a nice big working surface and the aerial in the middle, so should be able to put it straight on. There we go, that's perfect. Actually, it needs to be a little bit more back. There we go, that's perfect. And now on to the last one. Cut it again, so you have a better surface to work with. There we go. Let's see, it's dried out. No, not enough to worry about it. Put it on there. Mash it a bit so the juices come out again, and keep it moist. And there we have 16 grafts from number 11. And in about 2 or 3 weeks they will be ready to be planted and start growing to nice little plants. And now I put the dome on there again to keep them humid and prevent them from drying out, as once they are stuck together they won't dry out as quickly, so I can leave it open for 15 minutes, but You don't want it to be open for an hour, especially not on a dry day, but today is quite humid as it has rained very recently, so I felt safe keeping it open for like 20 minutes or so, I think. Well, that's about it for this video, so I'll see you later.